A big warm welcome to everyone. You are locked on Night Force Radio, and it's a special edition of Generation Exodus show presented and hosted by Glowkid. Back after a while, because there was a good cause to sort out this special show, and that is the big new material, forthcoming releases on Night Force, and even more from a groundbreaking act like the Criminal Minds. So guys, I have the pleasure having on the phone two essential moguls of the act, the man like DJ Spatts and the man like Jacques. Hello guys, how are you?
All right, man.
All right, mate.
Thank you for having us on.
Let's kick off with the fresh news and your deal with Night Force, guys. As far as we already know, Night Force, it's been the most prolific label in vinyl and hardcore, especially the last 7 years. I would like to ask you how you came up to deal with Lunacy and the label.
I've had Night Force records in my record box since about 1993. Yeah, onward and upwards. I mean, we met Chris through Dope Ammo, right, Spatts?
That's right, yeah. Night Force was a bit of a mover and a shaker with the reissue of old material, unreleased material, new stuff from legendary artists. It was the obvious place for us to go, really. We had new material, we've been working on it. We didn't work on it specifically for Night Force, but we had quite a body of work together by the time we made the connection. Yeah, and the thing is about our music is we just do it the way we want to do it. We always have done. So when you have a stance like that, it's up to people. Do they want to deal with you? Do they want remixes by you? Do they want to release your material? Well, the answer in this particular situation seems to be yes. I mean, we've done like a whole bunch of remixes recently for Night Force prior to our own releases, and a few elsewhere. Some quite big names as well. You know, people that we respect. People like the House Crew and
Sanction.
That Sanction.
Yeah, Isotonic.
Yeah.
He's Orange, massive, legendary. Chris Paul. I mean, this might connect to the past, Perry, a little bit, but I mean, before I was even writing tunes, that's where I used to go raving at the Orange rave. You know, so far back. Yeah, things do seem to always come together in this business and in life. Yeah, but going back to the music and the mixes, you know, we've never really expected to. I've always been a little bit shy in the industry, really. You see people who you're working alongside, I don't know, seem to do a lot bigger things. I don't know what it is. Chris Howells has signed us and he's treating us properly, you know, like a record label should. Never had that feeling before, really. You've always had to fight for everything and pester people for release date and not have callbacks for weeks on end and wondering if you're even still involved. Whereas working with Chris, we've been treated lovely. I mean, yeah, bang on, respect to Chris, who will probably watch this. But, yeah.
Label boss turns around to you and he says, I will accept whatever music you want to make. I have faith in what you do. That's a good feeling to have. That they don't want you to just churn out something specifically that might work, particularly on their label. It's great.
It's really good to hear that he showed the respect you deserve. You know, he opened the range, let's say, of the variety of your talent and your style to create stuff. I would like now to ask you, the test presses of Rocksteady have already gone. They instantly gone. They were about 30 or so. Yeah, for anyone listening now, I would like to ask you if we can go in depth to the new sound, Criminal Minds, the year 2022. What is all about?
Well, the album that we've come up with and the 2 EPs that we've come up with for Night Force all seem to kind of encompass musical styles that include UK hip-hop, electro, funk, rare groove, as well as kind of what you would expect with the hardcore and the rave sound. The connective tissue between all that music is the beat, okay? That's what connects it all together. That's why you can tell it's come from us and no one else. But there are styles that go all over the place. We'll take it out into outer space, we'll take it deep underground. But I suppose what the sound of us in 2022 is all about is us being able to go off on musical journeys, different planets. think what might make it seem a little bit clearer, in the early 90s, you could do anything you wanted, okay? We were all trying things out for the first time, and some of them worked and some of them didn't work. But the whole exciting thing was that we were trying. Then, as things morphed into jungle and drum and bass, there are certain things you couldn't do because you had to fit in with whatever else was going on.
And that is basically the meaning of hardcore. No rules.
No rules.
But as the commercial music business tried to take a hold of what were the most successful parts of rave and sign bands to major labels and then the criminal justice bill with, you know, shutting down rave parties and putting it into clubs, and then clubs being controlled by sound, the noise, and, you know, and searches on the door and, you know, and everything. It kind of, it did get shitty. And you know, you end up like, why are we doing these tunes? You know, where we're going to play and what we're going to do. But it's like kind of that freedom's come back.
Definitely.
It's a bit mad, actually. Yeah.
You can go from one point thinking that you're part of things, and then all of a sudden you realise you're on the outside again. That's why we moved away from it and got into other things. Now we're back making the music that we loved back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, we did go on to move on to other things. I think that's where Perry was going to try and go, but there's no way it could be done in 40 minutes. But we purposely moved on into environmental science territory. If people are going to start contriving tunes and putting them together for a commercial market, then fuck it, we'll do it. We ended up in limos, we had tour buses, private jets, flown all over the world. But it's no good. It's no good. It's not the way.
Well, let me question back at you, Perry. Okay, what are your thoughts on when things turned into drum and bass, and everyone was using the same drum break and the same bass sounds, and then everyone was too scared to do anything different? Did you love it just as much?
Yeah, to be honest, guys, I totally respect everyone expressing themselves through a music genre. I'm not that into drum and bass. I'm more into hardcore, you know. In addition to this one, what Ian has asked, the Spatts, I'd say that there's a new group called Try Unity. They're from Brighton, and I made an interview with these chaps over Brighton when I've been there 4 years ago. And so I asked them if they think that hardcore is over-sampled, over-killing itself as a genre, the same formula. I don't know if you see this happening, you know, if you can get me.
Well,
if we need more innovation, I mean, you know, you brought something back then which was innovative, you know. You started from hip hop, and then we all know the story, how it went.
Well, our material now still innovates and experiments as much as it always did. If I want to try something out, if we want to try something out, if Zach wants to try something out separately and bring it to the table, okay, no matter what it is, it's always a possibility. If it works, it works. And I'm not just talking about oddball sounds. If I want to sample something from somewhere, I'll fucking sample it from somewhere, okay? I've got no problem with blatantly taking something from somewhere else, crediting the artist, obviously, but use it in a new creative way. The core of this is sampling, okay? Sampling's always been an important part of hip-hop, and it was always an important part of hardcore and rave. Okay. As soon as that got ditched and people were too scared, and whether it was because they were scared of lawsuits and having to share some of the pie with the original artist, or whether it's because they thought they were too precious and they needed to play something straight off their synthesizers and use drum machines, and that was it. Okay, that's when it all went wrong. A kind of a punk DIY ethic, you know?
Certainly, man. Word up. So this year we celebrate 30 years from the breakbeat hardcore, a sound that it was indispensable, defined in the UK. The majority of the underground hardcore heads and many more others are following the go with the flow code. You have learned it. So 30 years of Baptized by Dub, your, let's say, most popular hit. The story behind this classic, guys?
It's all about the tune. I mean, I think we said in a recent interview, you know, you don't sit down to write a tune like that. The piano was in, you know, Spatts has sampled MC Duke, who was fucking amazing at the time. And, you know, we're not talking about political systems. Everybody that knows we're talking about sound systems. The tune, the origins of the tune, it's purely a hip-hop tune. And somehow we morphed it into a rave classic.
The recording of that particular song track came quite close to us working on some hip hop material at the same time.
You know what can't go wrong. 1, 2, you know we're gonna bring it on. My man say feed, step up to the mic. One time.
Calm it down, son. We're no longer on the run. See my brothers how they strung with the shit what we run. Dudes realize me and you ain't no size. Minimize guys who become demonized.
Yo, look over the lines coming rough. We're coming to draw balls with an income. Can you tell me that you had enough? My digits ready, so bring my guns to go and steady, picking it up.
It was like maybe the cousin of the hip hop we were making. You know, second cousin of the hip hop.
I like that. I like that.
We lost a lot of hip hop fans when we made that tune. We made some new fans. And as time has passed, 30 years, people can see the whole thing. They have perspective on the whole situation. They can see how the whole thing was connected. When you hear us play live now, as a three-piece, and that's myself and Zach and Boothie, our scratch DJ, okay, you can see that's 3 B-boys making rave music. You can't tell, you can't do it any other way. It's like 3 scratchadelic hip-hop DJs making rave music, performing it live. I don't think anyone else does it like that.
And you know, that's interesting because there's a lot of rave resurgence, you know, and you know, it's amazing. You know, them shows are fabulous to see all the DJs back out there. It really is. You know, all in full effect, such talented people. And you know, we're not saying we're any better at all. That we do something different, kind of on that same platform, on that same stage. You know, with our strategy and all the rest of it. And just going back to Baptized, that has become the anthem of last year and this year. I mean, so many people talking about it and playing the tune and remixes, and Ammo's remixed it, and I had calls from people, you know, just all over going, I heard Baptized talk last night on the radio, it was on Radio 1, it was this, it was that, and I think it's because it didn't chart.
Yeah, well, it fell under the radar. It went under the radar.
Under the radar of charting at that time, but because it didn't chart and it's still underground. And DJs, you know, 18 and 19-year-old, serious, going to parties I am, to pick up my son and stuff, and the tune's getting played. And I'm like, and my son gets in the car and I go, that's my tune. He goes, oh, stop going on. And I was like, yeah, that's real. When you're on the street and in the car, just picking up your son, doing the dad thing, running around, and you can hear your own tune going on in a house party full of 20-year-olds drinking tequila. Love that shit, love that shit, that shit, that shit, that shit.
Go with the flow.
Now I would like to ask, since you've been now a three-piece act, let's say, how hard was over these years from 1985 that you have formed as Criminal Minds? How hard that was over these years, filled with different people, different ideas?
Oh, what a journey.
Right. Well, as a lot of people might know, Criminal Minds started off as a hip-hop outfit. I won't go too deep into that, but we released 2 hip-hop EPs, self-funded on our own label, before we moved into making rave. So obviously, because they were hip-hop EPs, they involved a lot more people. We had 3 vocalists, myself and DJ Halo as the core of the group. But as we moved on to making the instrumental stuff, the up-tempo stuff for rave, the proto drum and bass, the proto jungle, everyone else kind of fell off to the side. Halo continued for a while. Zach joined the crew, and from that point onwards, everything changed. But over the years, within the last 10, 15 years, we've released some more hip-hop EPs via Jerome's label. It's something we move back into every now and again. If you want to express yourself in a certain way, you want to make an album predominantly of hip-hop, it would be a bit silly to try and push it out through Night Force. So we got that out of our system. 2 new Criminal Minds EPs came out within the last 10 years, and now we're back making this album. And I'm going to tell you the title, genre non-specific, is a masterpiece, an absolute masterpiece. Something that if something fell from the sky and struck me down dead this moment, I'd like people to remember me for this one particular album. I don't know about you, Zach.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I listened to it
Not
myself.
hoping that I die.
No, we said we never. That's why, Perry, back in the day, that's why we said we've never been big-headed or even think that you've got the next best thing, because everything is cool. Everything is, everyone's doing cool tunes. You're not the best, and it weren't cool to be, and that's why we've fitted into everything. And I think everybody connects to the rave scene. The DJs, promoters, the writers, the artwork people have all got a similar kind of take on life. So you all fit in together, and part of that take on life is not largely thinking you're fucking brilliant. But at the end of the day, when you do something for the love of, and then you become skillful at it, then you become really good at it, and then you come back to it, doing it again, and you write an album for fun, without no pressures or anything, and then I listen back to it, I've got to say myself, it is a masterpiece. It's like the Magna Carta of beats. There's funk, there's soul, there's hip hop, there's drum and bass, there's jungle, but not in that way that, there's a jungle tune, there's a hip hop tune, there's a soul tune. Every tune's got all those elements in them.
If I ask both of you, your best Criminal Minds records of all the time, this LP must be one out of 3, right?
Best Criminal Minds record of all time? For me, I'll answer this one first. Obviously, Baptized by Dob for what it did, what it is, and it was the beginning of everything and shows what that man down there can do. And for me, this is a personal one. My second favourite is The Criminal tune. is, and the strings, the eerie strings in that tune, and of how that tune makes me personally feel. Wow, that's my second favourite tune. And then my third favourite is one called The Only Solution, which was on a Mind Bombing record. And I don't really even know what it is about that tune. It's not personal to me as in, oh, that was a great era, that was a great time. I'm talking musically when I name these three. Something about that tune. It's got the sirens in. It's the way it's orchestrated. It's the rawness of the beats, the non-polishedness of the whole thing. And I know the damage that tune does today because I've played it out a few times.
And it was remastered. It was remastered 6 years ago, as far as I remember. Spatts, your selection, please.
Well, okay. I would say the most important Criminal Minds record to me, there's a track called The L-Shaped Room. And if I get my own way, it'll be the track that's the lead track on the album. It's brilliant, okay? But I'll let you be the judge. The title is based on a hotel room that me and Zach shared once called The L-Shaped Room. If you imagine two single beds in two parts of the L-shaped room, so we couldn't actually see each other, and we were trying to get to sleep. Okay, it was a very dark moment in our history. My second selection is Joyrider 2. Yeah, if I'm going to go somewhere old, I'm going to go to Joyrider 2.
Time to open now the chapter of environmental science. So for the listeners now, in 1995 you have remixed Poison by The Prodigy, and I would like to know a lot. Why and how?
At this point, the Criminal Minds had disbanded. We didn't exist as a group anymore. Everyone had gone off in their own directions. So, you know, we could have actually said, right, we'll reform a new version of the Criminal Minds specifically to do the remix, but we did the right thing by everyone else. So we set up a new moniker, the name Environmental Science, specifically to remix Poison. The group didn't exist before then. So we set up Environmental Science just to remix that one track. And that was a springboard that took us onto other things to eventually, you know, remixing The Shaman, getting signed to Skint Records, touring all over the world, and being kind of courted by loads of big record labels.
you have also
I
worked
think
with Liam in Mescaline and Destroy.
me and Spatts took an agreed time apart. We'd done so much. We'd come out of environmental science, got a little bit bitter at the end with the labels. And, you know, I don't want to tell a sad story. It's a common story. And after that, we decided, you know, fuck it, let's have a break. And then Spatts goes, yeah. And Spatts said, don't forget, at this time, I had his daughter, Poppy. And that was an important thing, obviously. And had to build a home and do what he's doing and dedicated him like he does with his music to that. So what was I going to do? You know, I was just drifted off a little bit. And then I ended up just bumping into Liam in London by accident. And I just ended up down in London at the studio, sitting in on sessions, really. And then I furiously wrote some stuff at home on my laptop, went back down again about 6 weeks later and said, oh, can we do a tune? And I went, come on, man. And he's like, crack on. And I'm stood there with Liam Howlett. Don't forget he's a friend, smoking partner, a brother. But at that moment, when he said, crack on then, I opened the laptop, plugged fucking some shit into his desk, reeled off a load of stuff that I'd written, riffs, guitar riffs, bits of beats and sounds and stuff. And I had this one killer riff. It was in a track called Seconds Out. I've never told this story before. When you work with people, it's not a secret fucking society, but you don't go around. You just when you work with Liam, you let the releasers do the talking. You let the band, the prodigies, wag and roll. But I had a killer track, Seconds Out. We went, we'll have that. And we put it in the tune. I did a bit of the beat. He did a bit of the beat. And then that track got written in 2006. Years after it had been written, from their manager going, oh yeah, by the way, that tune you did with Liam, I went, yeah, because we're putting it on the album. But yeah, that's how the tunes happened. So it happened through friendship sessions, similar to what I've done with Spatts, but I did it with Liam, you know, and it was an amazing time. And then I DJ'd on a couple of their tours, arena tours. You know, I'm still good friends with Liam now, and yeah, very good friends, and we're all one family together, all of us.
Last but not least, guys, what shall we expect new from environmental science? Anything else in the pipeline?
I mean, I'm just going to speak out. Me and Spatts had discussed this, so it might have been a bit out of order. Sorry, bro, but I can't see. Environmental science was a very, very special time with Joe Farragher and Age Stranick on guitar. You got to understand that there would be no environmental science band and music without them too. They had such talented people. You know, I was privileged to share a stage with a female vocalist who was that good, and Stranick as a guitarist. If you hear him in session when you're on the tour bus and listen to what he can play, Jimi Hendrix, it's absolute, and original stuff he's on, so he's phenomenal. That could never be done again. All I could ever see was maybe an Environmental Sounds remix of something, or a couple of DJ sound system sets. But for me, personally, I think that's in history now.
When easy. It's coming easy. It's coming easy.
My opinion on the whole thing is you've got to remember the period where we were working as environmental science, when we were signed to Fused and Bruised and Skint Records and done so many remixes, you know, from like, to name one, I'll just name one, Megadeth. Imagine getting the chance to remix Megadeth and being handed the master tapes of one track with like 128 channels. It's a bit different from doing a remix of another drum and bass artist. It was like a completely different level. But we had some amazing times. We were like in our 30s. We were touring all over the world. It was crazy times. We had no real ties. We were being looked after, pampered, protected, but also had to face the horrors of major record labels telling you what music to make.
Oh yeah,
You've
thank you.
gone from doing whatever you wanted to do to the point where they're saying, I want you to do this, I want you to try this out. Have you thought about trying a different vocalist? Or do you want to drop the guitar player?
Perry, I'm not large in it, but you've known me now. We've had some good chats. We know each other and we're doing this interview. You imagine coming out of Criminal Minds and signing to environmental science and coming from where we come from, and then you sat in the studio in Holloway Road and some guy that I've never even met walks in and goes, right, will you do this, guys? And we went, no, and he goes, you're doing it. I went, oh, what? I'm going. He went, there's no going.
A&R men were interfering with what you were doing, kind of pairing you up with people you've never met before. This is your new vocalist. See what you can come up with in the studio. There's no kind of natural process there. It's all of a sudden you're working with some precious girl with a notepad who's too aloof for her own good. So God bless you.
Nice one, Zach and DJ Spatts. Big up yourselves, guys. I would like to thank you a lot for accepting my invitation for this interview, for this special radio show. On behalf of the forthcoming and amazing stuff, big return of the Criminal Minds, signed on Night Force Records of Lunacy. Pick up yourselves, guys. Remain authentic. Keep the fire burning. And,
Perry, thank you.
Just a heads up, it's one of the rare interviews with the Criminal Minds, and I'm very proud of it, guys. Deeply respected.
Yeah.
Cheers, Barry. Take care.
Love you.